And we are live. It's the Brazil Expat Journal. I think I have some intro music. There it is. Oh man, I'm rusty. It's been a while. What's up, Peter?
Things are good. Things are good. Happy New Year, everyone. It's been a while since we've been with you, but I'm back.
It's been a while, but it's been a good while. I enjoyed my vacation, man. This was the first year where I said I'm taking my full 30 days, fuck everything, and I just got very drunk, watched a lot of movies, danced a lot, fucked a lot, did everything a lot, and now I'm back into professional mode, and it sucks, but it's life. You gotta
Yeah,
get
this is like my first real vacation ever. Actually, I only took a week. I took the last week of December. Just went to Rio de Janeiro for 3 days, but it's the first time in like more than 7 years in Brazil I've done any serious traveling. And yeah, I did the full 9 yards, got the beach, got the Jesus statue in there, and yeah, enjoyed the pleasures of travel in this great big country we live in.
And how did you like Rio? What was your
I
assessment?
liked it. I liked it. I was actually expecting it to be a lot more sketchy, a lot more difficult to navigate. Because I mean, I was lost when I first got there. I didn't like bring a map or anything like that, no guidebooks. But after living in Sao Paulo for so many years, like once you orientate yourself, the Rio, which is like 4.5 million people, actually seems quite small by comparison. I mean, you can like walk from the city center to the beach. It's a long walk, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, no, Rio's pretty easy to figure out. At least if you're in the tourists, the Zona Sul, the South Zone area.
Yeah,
Um, it's more or less everything's kind of walking distance. I
yeah,
hear from our friend Stephanie. Was a devout Rio hater, and she, like me, she changed her mind a little bit once she went to some other neighborhoods outside of the Zona Sul area.
yeah.
Um, I think Santa Teresina she talked about. It's kind of like this hippie community down there. She said it was really cool. And a lot of people say like Zona Oeste, the west side is kind of cool.
Right.
Um, yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but I'm glad you enjoyed yourself and you didn't get
It's
killed.
a nice looking city. The only thing like I didn't really get to experience the nightlife because I was there like in the middle of the week between Christmas and New Year's, and plus I was getting up early every morning to do touristy shit, so I didn't want to be out all night. But I would love to be there like on a happening weekend and see like what really goes down on a freaky Rio Saturday night.
What really goes down is this guy that just got beat to death at one of the kiosks. This Congolese guy. Really weird story just came out, and apparently, well, he was asking to get paid or something. That's the story at least. And then the owner of the kiosk uh, kind of brushed him off, and then he came back with a stick and started beating him. And then these five other guys came, kind of put him in a headlock, and they all beat him to death. I was like, good lord, that just another day in Rio.
Right.
So um, but I for the tourist stuff, I love the city. Like, I don't know if you managed to get up to Sugarloaf Mountain, but I thought
No.
that was way better than the Christ statue, even for the views. Plus, up top on Sugarloaf, there's more space to walk around, so I get a better view of the city. There's like a little restaurant up there, a little kind of botanical garden up there, mini botanical garden. Uh, and you get to go up those trams like 007.
Yeah.
So that was, or Popeye. Popeye goes to Rio. But I'm glad you enjoyed your trip. I was worried because Rio's a rough city, man, compared to São Paulo, I think. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of
It's
the
got
little.
the reputation for sure.
Yeah, you gotta kind of just slum it when you're in Rio. You can't wear any jewelry or anything because those little kids on the bikes, man, they're serious business.
Yeah.
Uh, and they will snatch you. away. So, guys, thank you for the last year. And by the way, I had made a miscalculation here on the BJs, and I thought, I don't know what happened, but I was like two BJs behind as far as numbering. And so tonight is not the 28th Brazil Expat Journal, but it's the 30th. So that's kind of cool. We're slowly getting up there in the numbers. So thank you, everybody. And tonight we're going to be talking about, what to expect for 2022. Okay, the last episode we did was kind of a retrospective of the year. In this one will be, um, what's going to be going down, kind of really objectively going down, but then also if anybody out there wants to call in or leave any comments, any things that you are planning on doing, or if anything that you're doing, Pete, that's kind of crazy for 2022, share with us. But yeah, we'll get right into it, guys. The first things that I think a lot of people were curious about and wondering about is Carnival, because these dates keep changing. And then
Hmm.
sometimes it's canceled, sometimes it's not canceled, sometimes it just moves forward. And here, according to Google, Master Google, it says that Carnival in Rio, at least, I couldn't find it for other cities, will be in April now, not in February or March. I guess this year was going to be February.
Yeah, it
So
was supposed to start at the end of February. It was a late one this
yeah.
year.
Now there's some confusion as far as you know what when they mean it's going to be moved forward is that the block parties are moving forward, guys.
Yeah,
So you can still go to the Sambódromo, which is the name for like the Samba Dome, that big ass stadium where they have the all the parades and stuff. Real Carnival dates, it's still February 25th through March 5th. So, I mean, according to this, I mean, I'm going by Google, so don't shoot me if I'm wrong. But
right.
from what I understood is, well, let's see here, CNN from 6 days ago, Pete. But from what I
That
understood,
could be out of date.
let me see. Carnival celebrations in Brazil have had another joint statements. Both São Paulo and Rio announced the postponement of their official Carnival parades because of the spread of Omicron variants. Oh no, so yeah, that was out of date. So like the move comes just weeks after the cities canceled their informal street parades. So the new dates for the parades will be in April. Okay, so I guess that's even inside the Sambadrome, which is not to mean that there won't be partying going on, because I don't think COVID has kept anybody in Brazil from
No, it never
partying.
did. And honestly, I think Omicron is going to be like pretty much a thing of the past by February because everybody got it this month. Like I got it. I got it in the first week of January. I had it for like 8 days, and I'm double vaccinated. I didn't get the booster. I haven't got the booster yet. Actually, it's not that I object to getting a booster. I'm just lazy, and wherever I get it, I'm going to have to go far. So I've been kind of putting that off, which I shouldn't. But I don't think it would have made a big difference with Omicron, man. That shit just goes right through vaccines.
Yeah, well, that was kind of the good news, is that it came quick, and it seems like it.
Yeah, it didn't kill a lot of people. We had a lot of zero death days in January, which is really
Mhm.
refreshing. It started in October, but it's starting to become a lot more common now that, hey, wait a minute, nobody in Sao Paulo State died of COVID today.
Yeah, I'm looking here at, there was a spike in new cases, but again, I think with COVID, a lot of folks get kind of confused between cases of COVID versus deaths
Yes.
from COVID. It's like those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
very
The cases were
different.
through the roof. Like at one point in Sao Paulo, it was like, and this is just in Sao Paulo State, but it was like 15,000 new cases a day. But I
Yeah,
mean, like a new case is like the sniffles and a cough for a lot of people.
exactly. And after the what do you call it?
The
The
flu,
the
the flu wave.
vaccination,
Yeah,
it's really. gone down. I'm looking here on a site that shows us there's a little bit of a spike. I mean, you can't talk about
There's
2020.
one day I think we had like 159 deaths. It was like 000, and then like 159. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking on here, Pete. So there's a little bit of spike here. Daily deaths 662 in January, but yeah, it kind of went down, 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 down. But this is kind of when, well, what the hell was going on in May?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is in
People were
Brazil.
getting
I'm
vaccinated
mostly
here in September,
yeah,
August. Yeah,
I'm
that's when.
mostly focusing on Sao Paulo because like the
Yeah,
vaccination rate in Sao Paulo among 18 plus is like pretty close to 100%.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
I'm
you know,
not really focused on the numbers of the country as a whole because they include a lot of rural areas where they don't have as much access to it.
no, I feel you. Yeah, so that's your Carnival watch. Let me see. Sao Paulo.
That's actually news to me. Last I heard, because I know the mayor, like at the start of the month, he outright canceled it, and then Rio de
Mhm,
Janeiro was like, "Fuck, man, we're going through with it," because their mayor, he's like a hardcore carnival booster. Like they had
mhm.
shit up for it everywhere when I was there. That and the rebellion actually. And then Sao Paulo was like, okay, well, we don't want to look bad compared to Rio. We don't want to look unpatriotic. So I think the mayor approved like 65 blocos, and that was like the last I'd heard of it. I didn't know they changed the dates.
Yeah, so those of you who are planning to come here and want to see the big old parades, just hold off a little bit. Um, Wait it out. But if you do come beforehand, like I said, you will probably find some party to go to because Brazil cannot stay away from a party. It really can't. But
Nope.
let's move ahead here. So again, new dates for Carnival, April 20th to April 30th. And then there's a question here as far as are these going to be like actual holidays or not? So, that's something else.
Yeah.
But that's for people that work here. And Pete had reminded me of one thing I forgot to put on my slide that I put on here, and this was just approved a couple weeks ago. Well, according to here, January 28th. But the digital nomad visa is launched. The Brazilian government has launched a remote worker visa for qualifying foreign nationals to live and work in the country, and it allows foreign nationals to live and work in Brazil for up to 1 year. Okay. And to be eligible, applicants must have a minimum monthly salary of 1,500 or at least $18,000 in a bank account to qualify for the
Dollars.
visa. Yes,
So
so you
a
gotta.
monthly salary of $1,500 is good enough.
Yes.
That's not impossible, man. If you got a job you can do remotely, there's a good chance you're making that kind of money.
No, it's actually not too bad. They also get medical insurance that is valid in Brazil and proof of a clean criminal record. Okay. Um, Digital nomad visa holders cannot perform local work for the duration of their visa. And what it intends to do is bring more foreign nationals, digital nomads to the country to stimulate the economy, create jobs, and help the country recover financially. Although that makes me wonder if you are coming here as a digital nomad, you're making your dollars or your euros or whatever. I guess to get the visa, you'd have to go through all the Brazilian bureaucratic stuff. So then you have to check, guys. It gets confusing with taxes, like who are you going to be paying taxes to and all that stuff.
Right.
Because I don't really get how that's going to create jobs if, like, somebody's working remotely for their American company in Brazil. How that's creating a job in Brazil? I think it's creating tax revenue if you're in the system. But
Right.
it's a good deal, because I know a lot of expats who have been trying to get down here as a digital nomad. So you got it. The door's open if you got the money. If you got the money. All right. So more things here that is happening this year in Brazil is that this is their note. Um, in 2022, Brazil celebrates the 200th year of her independence. So there may be a lot of festivities around that. It's called Dia do Fico, or I Shall Stay Day, is a historical marker of a prelude to Brazil's independence, the bicentennial of which we celebrate this year. Dom Pedro was under heavy pressure from Portugal to abandon his post as regent and return to Lisbon. Brazil would be a colony again, choosing to aid his people instead of obeying the court. Dom Pedro boldly announced, "I shall stay," emboldening the first Brazilian independence movement and beginning the process of severing ties with Portugal that would lead to Brazilian independence on that very year, 1822. In Brazil, there's like two Independence Days down here, which is always confusing. There's like the
Yeah, there's
Declaration of
Constitution
Independence.
Day, and then
Yes,
there's Independence Day. Yeah,
yes, it's the Declaration of the Republic Day. They call it República or
yeah.
something. Declaration of the Republic, and then we get the
They
Independence
do
Day.
nothing for it either, too. Like there's the Sao Paulo birthday celebrations, which were actually just this past weekend. Mhm. They didn't do much this year, obviously, because of Omicron. But normally, the Sao Paulo birthday celebrations blow the fuck away any Brazilian Independence Day celebrations.
I know, guys. This is the stuff that kind of sucks with the current COVID situation. Some of the bigger parties like that, like the Virada Cultural, the cultural all nighter, whatever parties
Well,
are canceled.
that's supposed to happen in May. I think that hasn't been officially canceled yet. Even
Oh,
last year, they still did it. They just did it online. But
I know, but who wants
um,
to do that shit
yeah,
online?
I have my fingers crossed for horticultural in May for sure.
And for those in our audience who believe in the woo woo, in the paranormal, whatever, I just thought this was kind of funny. There's this psychic named Vanjinha Lopez, although she could be right, man, considering how folks get very emotional here in Brazil. She says, I see a lot of war, a lot of conflict in this year in relation to the political arena. So, I mean, you don't have to be a psychic to figure that out.
Well,
But
no,
there's
no. I mean, Bolsonaro's pretty much said that if he loses the election, he's not going. I mean, that's just it could be hot air, it could be talk, but you consider the support he has from the military. Like, I don't know if he were to actually pull something like that, it could be pretty shitty.
Yeah, well, I think he's just gonna go to prison if he does something like that. He doesn't have as much support from the
Yeah,
military as he tries to say that he does. And so she says that there's going to be a lot of regression in because of the politics, and from May to December, the political area is going to bring a renovation. So who knows? Maybe we get Moro in there because so right now Bolsonaro and Lula. So good luck, Brazil. Um, so yes, she does say that in the end there's going to be a great positive renovation. Okay, which is opposite of what has been happening in the last couple of years. So there's your psychic news. Although I'll tell you,
mm,
I'm looking up articles here about what's going to happen in 2020 in Brazil, and I'm putting in Portuguese previsão 2020. But if you put previsão, you get all the tarot guys. It's like it's like what the pre-seers,
right.
whatever. So it's hard for
Yeah,
me to find
pre-gods.
articles that were just giving me like what the hell is happening in Brazil from soccer to Carnival to everything. So that's why I found this article by this lady by mistake. And then as we move ahead, and then again, if you guys are listening out there, so we got a few listeners. Thank you for um, dropping in. Drop in the comments. What are your plans for 2022 in Brazil? How's life going? How's work going? If you want to actually come in and talk, oh, Travelmatic. Yeah, there you go. If you want to drop in and say a few words, let me know, Travelmatic. I'll drop you the link here and we'll let you come in. Good dude. Uh, Actually, here we go. Here's the link here, and you can chat with us for a couple minutes. Trying to make it an early night, guys, because we are working our butts off. That's what we're doing this year. We're just working our butts off down here. But On a more personal note, though, I got this nice little article from CNN Brazil. What do Brazilians expect for 2022? And it's real sweet because a lot of them are just expecting kind of a somewhat of a return back to normalcy. That's what they're expecting because, well, last year was weird, Pete, because it was like we were out of it, but we were not out of it. We were out of it, and
We
then
were comparative. I mean, if you don't count all the people dying of COVID, we were actually doing better than most of the rest of the world. It's like that was kind of the cost of that. It was like,
yes,
okay, we're just gonna, keep on moving forward. And unfortunately, the healthcare system and a lot of people paid the price for that. But the thing is, if you weren't directly impacted by COVID as like an actual health issue, then chances are things were better than they had been in recent years.
yeah, no, it's gotten the trend is of things getting better. I think what was a bit um, complicated is that we were still kind of in a hybrid mode. And I mean, I live that personally because I work at a school. So it's like we were doing hybrid classes where half of the kids were online, half of the kids were there, which is harder than doing it like the year prior, which was all the kids were online. You can kind of wrap your head around, okay,
Right.
I have an online class, wrapping your head around, I got 10 kids in the class and three that are online. That's like, but it was like that. It felt like that throughout the country where, okay, we're kind of open for business, but maybe not, or you can come in, but only till a certain time, or, you know, it was kind of a weird thing. Oh, let's get Travelmatic in here real quick. Talk to us for a little bit. I like this dude, and I like his channel. What's up, man?
What's good? What's good?
Let's put you on the screen here. Wait up. Let's get all of
Good
us.
evening.
There we are.
Yes,
How are you?
sir. I'm
Remind
good, my friends.
remind everybody who you are, because you've been on this channel since the beginning. You're a good dude.
Oh man, I am Travelmatic. I am out of Atlanta, Georgia. I have a YouTube channel as well. It's Travelmatic, all one word. Actually, I just got finished doing a live myself on remote working. So as soon as I got off, I ended mine. I saw yours because I have the notifications when you come on, and I was like, oh, I said, man, I'm actually at the gym.
Oh, there
I,
you
I,
go.
yeah, I was at the gym trying to get a quick workout in, and I said, I'm gonna, get on the treadmill, but I had to
Travel
come out because I know the music.
You reminded me of two things. One is that we always forget to say like and subscribe, guys, at the beginning of the show. So please do that because YouTube is wacky. It's been wacky the last year or so, and not just my channel. I see a lot of people with big channels complain that the videos don't show up, they don't push videos anymore. So you got to like and subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when we're on. And two is that I actually pay for the gym, and I only gone once this year, so I got to find time to get back into the gym. So thank you for.
Yeah, you
So
got to, man.
you're coming
Huh?
down. You're coming to Brazil. Where are you coming?
I want. Well, that's I posed in your chat the other week or other day. That it's been mixed signals, and some people are saying, hey, it's still on regular daytime, and I'm like, no, I'm seeing on CNN that they saying it's postponed to April, and then it's just been so many mixed things going around that I'm like,
Yeah.
I need boots on ground type information so I can be able to plan accordingly, as they say.
Yeah, I feel you. The problem
Yeah.
is it changes
That's
daily.
not gonna happen though. Like
Exactly.
whatever they're saying now, like this could change by tomorrow. Like who
Exactly.
Mm,
knows?
okay.
It's just like in I was in the one expat group and somebody was asking like, what are the rules now to come to Brazil? Like, do I have to be vaccinated? Do I just have to show proof of this? Blah blah. Blah. And it's like the girl gave a good answer, but at the same time, she said check with your airline because the rules they seem to change week by week.
Right. Right.
One
Right.
day
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
show. Go ahead.
yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, I'll tell you. Like the rules for coming to Brazil are one thing, but the rules for like what you might need to do while you're here will also be different depending on where you go. Like
Mm-hmm.
recently, I've had to show my proof of vaccination at most concerts and bar parties I've been to and stuff. But man, in Rio de Janeiro, like I had to show proof of vaccination to get hotel rooms. You definitely need it for the long distance coaches. And I mean, I'm saying that based on my experience with one line. It's probably up to the individual coach line, the company, right? So maybe
Yeah.
one company is like a little more lax and other companies are more strict. So it's definitely advisable to do the most you can to ensure not having any problems, because at present you don't need proof of vaccination to get into Brazil because Bolsonaro vetoed that. I think you just need a negative COVID test within 24 hours. But that
Mhm.
doesn't really matter if you come here and you can't get a long distance bus and you can't get a hotel. Like, you're not going to be leaving the airport.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah, get everything that you possibly can to save yourself hassles.
Exactly, exactly, and just keep that CNN on constantly because the rules are changing. Like at the beginning of the show, I was looking, and I was sure that it was that they had canceled the block parties, the street parties, but the actual parade inside the stadium was still going on. But it was just this week that they changed it, and now not even the parades inside the stadium are going on. That's going to April too. So that's how quick
Mm.
the stuff is changing. And then it might be that by the end of February, they're like, or mid February, they're like, well, Omicron isn't really as bad as we thought it would be. So we're putting it back on again. So
Yeah,
I
that
wish
would
Mm.
not
it
surprise
was
me.
straight answer. But welcome to Brazil. Brazil is the
Yeah,
country of not straight answers.
yeah,
Oh yes, yes. I'm seeing that now. So yeah, I'm just gonna just keep my ears open. Um, I know right now for the entry, I think you have to be vaccinated from what I heard. And I know myself, whenever I go to any of these countries, I will Google it. Like I said, Brazil travel requirements, and
Mhm.
then like usually like the first or second entry will be like the U.S. Embassy website. The U.S. Embassy don't miss. They're gonna probably be the first one to know those requirements to enter into that country. So I always use that over anything. Um, and it's been that U.S. Embassy website will tell you the entry requirements, whether or not you have to quarantine, how many days, um, and you always want to put travel restrictions or not U.S. like with code red, orange, or something like that. It'll tell you if
right.
you know those type of warnings or something like that. So always use the embassy website, man. Is my little
Well,
tip for the day.
I'm on the Worldwide Expat site. Somebody asked yesterday. Sorry if somebody already asked this question. What are the current requirements to enter Brazil? One dose, two doses, or only PCR test? And this girl Karen, she sent this article from Agência Brasil that says proof of vaccination now required to enter Brazil. It doesn't say how many doses are required, one or two. And you gotta fill out a form, declaração de saúde do viajante, which is, you're declaring that your health is good. Let me open this Agência Brasil.
I'm
Uh,
telling you, go to that U.S. embassy site because I just got back from Colombia. I'm gonna tell you a story. I was in Colombia,
mm,
Cartagena, and leaving Cartagena to come back to the states. A guy was behind me,
yes,
and he did his test right.
yes.
Now, the test as of November of last year is 24 hours now before you can 24-hour test negative before
Mm,
you get on a plane to back to the US. He did his uh this was a Tuesday I left. He did his on Sunday. I did my test on that Monday. So he was 48 hours over the time.
mm,
And that lady said, sir, you have to get out the line. And I was like, whoa.
oh man,
And
that
he
means
and you don't know how long this guy been in Colombia. You like a lot of people are not privy to US news when you're abroad. So
Yeah.
he could
Yeah.
have been one of those ones that been over there since November and just didn't know. So
Yeah,
um,
so good advice is check the embassy, because even as I'm looking at this article, it's published on December 12th. So things probably,
mhm.
and then like Pete was saying, the president vetoed, because here it says the last dose is to have been administered at least 14 days prior to travel. So here they're actually saying that you need proof of vaccination. So, oh, it's all over the place, just like with Carnival, man. Just call and call the. I think it's smart also to call the airline.
Yeah, your airline gonna know too.
Because
Hmm.
they will know.
Definitely,
Definitely,
definitely.
definitely, definitely. And here we got. Okay, we have a guy here. Rules here. This is Juliana. Rules here. Last week we were not obliged to present VAC pass into the institute. Oh, Juliana, what's up, Juliana from Estonia? Today I got banned from the institute since I have no proof. So she's talking about the Bhutan Institute. Um, the
Oh
fact that
wow.
it's 3 weeks ago and AHD approved doesn't count. Since December 20th, sent to Brazil, one has to present proof of two. Well, that's what we were just reading right there. In case of Janssen, one dose, 14 days prior to entry. Okay. Um, so she's kind of repeating what it said in that article from Agência Brasil. But again, if you want to double check, get in touch with your local embassy and from your home country there and figure that out. When
Yeah, but I
dates are you
mean, check
for?
like right before you travel though too,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if you're
Hmm.
like planning for 2 months down the road, like forget any information you get now. It will be gone.
Another one too is you. These tests are hard to come by. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So like, if you do wait a day before, you may get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
When you oh, you know what, I got to do it 72 hours. Let me go let me go schedule an appointment. You go to schedule an appointment, next 2 weeks is booked up. You
Yeah.
got to you got to keep that in mind. Keep that
I
in
got.
mind.
Oh man, what a mess! What a mess to travel. And when are you planning on coming down here?
Well, I wanted to come for the April. I said, well, April Carnival would be a good time because
Mm-hmm.
I last time I came was in November.
Mm-hmm.
I came into Sao Paulo. I went to Salvador. It's warm. It's in November. Sao Paulo was kind of mild. It wasn't cold, but it was a little mild.
Yeah,
And
it was. We were slow at the gate here.
yeah, so I'm trying to find the right time to come, which I found out this past December, January. I'm like, oh, I should have been in I should have been in Brazil.
You should.
Like
You
this,
have been burning down here. It was hotter than usual. It was. It was.
I
It
Yeah,
was.
I want
last
to
month was
experience
hot.
that. I want that heat. I want the fire, man.
Oh boy. No, but
Yeah,
April's okay. April, you're kind of
it starts
ending.
to cool off a bit in
It
April.
starts to cool off, but yeah. I mean, depends where you go.
It
I mean,
rains
if you're
less
in
though. It
São
rains less.
Paulo, forget about it.
It's cool. It's cool.
Oh yeah, because São Paulo gets a little bit cooler. But São Paulo's below the tropic line, so it
Okay.
does get cooler once you're in April, June. That's winter
R-
time. June, July.
r-
Well, it's the opposite. Just whatever when it's summer there.
right. And that's what I was looking at too. Is it Natal or
Oh yeah,
is
Natal is gonna be hot year round. That's
okay?
Yes, Natal's
yeah,
Natal's in the tropics.
yeah. You're on
Okay.
the
Okay.
most northern tip of Brazil, so you're gonna be hot there year round. Uh,
Okay.
but once you start to get south of Rio, then yeah, it'll cool down during the winter. It won't be like extremely hot. Like I spent time at the beach last year for my vacation in July. Had a few really cold. Like it got really cold at night. And at night, it definitely got really cold. But during the day, it was fine. It's not hot,
Okay.
hot, but it's you get some sun.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
went
Okay.
south. I went to a south beach, but you should be fine. In April.
Yeah, I'm thinking about just maybe just hold. I just want to experience a summer in Brazil. You
You
know,
know,
I'm looking at the stuff on Instagram, and it's just like they having fun in the summertime. So I'm like, I want to go and experience that summer. I mean, November was what, like spring or something like that.
no, it's
I
like the
think
end
Yeah,
of
it's the end of spring.
yeah, in
in,
the spring.
in the
Yeah,
spring, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But in Sao Paulo, it was kind of miserable. It was more like a fucking Pacific Northwest fall, really.
I know. The
mhm.
weather in São Paulo was nutty this year, and like even the last couple of weeks, we just had very heavy rains. Actually, just now we had a landslide here that was on the news in the
Yeah,
city near.
there's statewide flooding actually.
I know, and I had power knocked out, like a tree, like it
I
got uprooted.
know.
It was like hurricane type winds right on my street, like a tree totally got uprooted, and I was without power for like 2 or 3 days. So wacky weather, and then we got hit with like this heat wave that it felt like
Hmm.
it was right.
Mm.
Yeah, wacky weather. So, but São Paulo is wacky weather. That's one thing they say. If you come to São
Yeah.
Paulo, guys, they have a saying here that São Paulo has all the seasons in one day. So you leave the house and it's hot as hell, and you got your tank top on, whatever, but you got your raincoat and your umbrella in your backpack because you know at 3 o'clock, 4 p.m. it's gonna rain. It's gonna be like Noah's
Yeah.
Ark
It's like
type deal.
clockwork almost.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's gonna get cool again at night, and it's gonna get real hot all of us. So it's weird weather down here in São Paulo. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, however it goes, man, I'm destined for a trip back to Brazil this
Oh,
year.
for sure. And reach out when you're down here. We got a couple of
Definitely,
here in Sao Paulo.
definitely. I need that experience of Sao Paulo because I just went to I was there for like a long layover, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and I was able to go to Paulista Avenue
Mm-hmm.
and walk up and down that. I put a little video on my channel with that. Um, but I wanted to experience a little bit more, but it's so big, But um, so yeah, I definitely would need your guidance, man, and I need you to come on my channel, man. Do one of my lives, and we.
I will. Do you let's well do you know my Facebook? Phil
Um.
Ray. Look up Phil Ray on Facebook. You'll see me, and then send me your WhatsApp or something through there.
Okay. Is it RAY or
Yeah.
R? Okay.
Yeah.
Phil
Phil.
Ray. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look you up. And definitely you can come on my channel and we'll talk. Cause you teach, right? Actually, I got a interview I'm gonna do with. I was just talking to her today, ironically. She is not a teacher, but I have another lady that is. I have two ladies, actually three ladies from Brazil. I want to get on my show. One that just travels. She's an Afro Brazilian girl that travels through, man, all different types of places in Brazil. From just recently, she was near like Uruguay. Was it Uruguay? No, not
Is her
Uruguay.
name Rebecca by any chance?
What's her name?
Rebecca, because I have a friend like that.
Rebecca. Yes.
Rebecca Lathea. She's awesome.
Yes, Rebecca. I was talking to Rebecca today, and she
Yes.
said she may do it on Monday for me because I'm like, girl, you be everywhere. Like she be in Cartagena, Colombia.
No,
Did
we
she?
can get her on the channel too. I've known her for ages. I love Rebecca. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. You
All right.
definitely. She got a lot of great content. She need to have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Much as she go around, but yeah, I'll look you up and we'll definitely connect, man. It'll be
Okay.
good to have you on my channel.
We'll do that. Man, we're gonna move on just because we want to get to bed at some point this evening. All right.
All right. I
But it was
appreciate
good.
All
y'all.
right,
I'll be
man.
listening.
Nice having you on.
No, thank you.
Yes.
He's
Thank
always
y'all. Take care, man. I'll be listening to y'all while y'all. I'll be in the sauna maybe or something.
all right.
Listen
Get
to
that
y'all.
workout
Oh,
in. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, man. All right. Take care, y'all.
See
Salute.
you.
All right.
Bless
Bye.
you. Bye.
Cheers.
All right. Oh, I like this dude, man. That's crazy. Small world. He knows Rebecca. I haven't talked to Rebecca in a while. I gotta reach out to her. She'll be a great guest to have on the show. And he's right. She's Brazilian girl, Pete, and she, yeah, I met her in Brasilia actually in like 2009 or 2010. I was there for like this
Oh wow.
congress, public healthcare, and we just became friends. And then I gave her a couple English classes, I think, because she went to South Africa to study English and then to Trinidad and Tobago. And then she was in Madagascar and Mozambique, and then she's in Brazil. She travels all over the place, and she speaks decent English. Um, and real interesting character. So I'm glad he brought her up because I've been meaning to reach out to her. Anyway, let's get more stuff here, guys. As far as what to expect from this year in our beautiful country. Yeah, so Brazilians here. This is if your Portuguese is up a little bit, this is a nice article to read. And pretty much everybody's just like getting back to normalcy, because it was kind of like a hybrid. Like I was explaining how at my job it was like this hybrid work, which is really bizarre. It's much easier to get our minds around either all online or all there. And I think now we can slowly sneak back into this idea of, hey, we can all just be there, and live our lives somewhat normally. So I think, there's a little boy even is like, oh, I'm so happy to go back to school and see my friends. So, good for them. On the economic side, inflation is in double digits. So motherfuckers here
Hmm.
are suffering, very much so. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We don't want to get too political here, but yeah, Brazilians are going through it, man. I don't know. You notice, Pete, the price of groceries.
Oh, it's pretty rare to go into the grocery store and drop less than $50, and that's just like to
Yes,
make like one thing for dinner. That hopefully will
exactly.
last
That's
you
the
like
thing.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it's just one thing for dinner. That's why, like, I've been eating out more because I'm like, okay, I can spend 20 some or 15 reais and get like a decent little dinner. Maybe I'll eat a slice of. It won't be the best dinner, like a slice of pizza or some rice and beans. But I'd rather spend 20 reais there than you go to the supermarket. You're spending 40, $50 just for like what you're gonna eat that night, and you gotta cook it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
um,
like I usually try and get something that lasts 2 or 3 days. I work. I'm lucky. I have an oven, so you have more options. But of course, with the
get
oven,
close to
then
that mic because you're fading a little bit.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm lucky. I have an oven, so I have a few more cooking options. So actually,
Yes.
yeah, this weekend I spent I think close to $50, but I made like shepherd's pie, and yeah, I still have some left. So, I mean, yeah, that's like 5 6 days worth of food right there. So that's
That's
okay. It works out that okay, you're only really spending 10 hails per day, but that's also because you know, I have the oven. I have more options.
mhm. Not, but it's rough for the average Brazilian who's making like 1,000, whatever the minimum wage is,
Yeah,
100 reais.
yeah, like 7 kilos for or 7 reais for a kilo of potatoes. Like that hurts.
It
Even
is, yeah.
even like usual staples like rice and beans, it's not uncommon to see them in the 7 to 8 real range for like 300 grams. I mean,
It's insane. Remember, this was like back in the Dilma apocalypse prices. Because remember, Dilma actually had
yeah,
that phrase. She's like, you can trade beans for eggs or something like that. She said
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man. So it's a crazy time, and gasoline prices are up. So that's affected actually 2022, guys. Those of you that are coming to Brazil, it's gotten a little bit better, but Uber's been a pain in the ass because of that. With their cancellations, they were
Oh
looking.
man, I've given up on Uber. Uber is dead to me.
Yeah, it used to be a really good service, but these guys are just not wanting to go more than 3 kilometers to pick you up because of gas. Now Uber got on their cases. I think it was in the tens of thousands, or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe 6 to 7 thousand, but there's a large number of people that they fired because of this
Right.
here in Brazil. because of over cancellation because people were complaining so much. Um, but oh, Juliana, she gave a little sad face there with the Uber. Yeah, man. Um,
Yeah, there is competition though. There's like a lot of other ride sharing apps coming out in Sao Paulo as well, though.
well, I know
So
there's 99
hopefully,
Taxi. I've never used it. I don't
yeah.
think Lyft is in Brazil, but I know Uber Eats. Oh, there's another thing to look forward to 2022. Uber Eats is leaving Brazil, which
Oh
I actually like
no,
Uber Eats better than iFood.
me
But they're leaving
too, me
Brazil, I
too.
think, in March.
Oh no, whatever shall
Yes,
I do?
I know. I'm sad because I like Uber Eats. So no
Yeah,
more
me too.
Uber Eats.
But they've declined in quality recently as well, though. Like, used to be like you could get delivery from almost anywhere, and now it's like if it's not on this side of the river, then forget about it.
Yeah, I think they're just shutting down business slowly. So there you go. So there's a lot of that. So economically, it's a weird time. Brazilians are suffering. The only thing that saves it, which doesn't make it as bad as the dumb apocalypse, is that we still have like the people that have a lot of money are still they still got their money. Like the big companies are somewhat okay. So if you're working with English and stuff, you're kind of doing okay. But um, who knows what's going to happen with in a couple months? Well, not a couple months, but election times, and that gets us right into this article here, the
Hmm.
O Tempo. So, what are the main events of 2021? Obviously, the big one is our presidential election, but there's a couple here.
2022.
2022, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. Where is that article? There it is. Should be appearing at some point. Okay, I got a white screen here, and you got a black screen. So let's try that again. What the fuck happens? All right, let's try it one more time. There you go. So, what are the main events of 2022? All right. So first, some sports. We do have the Winter Olympics happening, which is really bizarre, but that's going to happen in 2022, uh, in February. But that's not going to be in Brazil. It's going to be in China. But Brazilians will be there. Oh, we got the World Cup, which surprised me. Somebody was talking about the World Cup this year. I was like, what? But it's because of all the COVID stuff. It got canceled, and it didn't get canceled. I think it's because the South American Cup got moved up. Anyway, gonna be World Cup.
The last one was in 2017, wasn't it? Or was
Was
it?
it?
No, it was 2008. No, it was in the last one was in 2018. So this is on schedule.
Yeah, I think what made it weird is that they moved. I think they moved the South American Cup because I think there's like 2 years between each of them, and I think the South American Cup was last year. So that's why it kind of caught me by surprise. But in any case, um, it's going to be in November, and the
Oh,
final will
that's
be
good.
on the 18th of December. I don't know how pumped Brazilians are going to be for the World Cup. I don't know. In Qatar, I feel bad for these players, man. They're going to be out there in the
Yeah.
sun, dying. So there's a lot of there's going to be atletismo is like kind of like Ironman type stuff that's going to happen. Masculine or male volleyball, female volleyball. Woohoo, exciting. Politics. Well, this is the big one. We got the Brazilian
Hmm.
elections.
Yeah.
So it's when is the election here,
I think
Pete? I
it's in
was
October.
Yeah, it's like the end of
October or November.
Hmm. Anyway, oh no, October
And
2nd. October 2nd. Okay.
yeah,
So October
yeah,
2nd,
and the
you know,
election is a long process here, people. Like for those of you not familiar with the Brazilian electoral process, basically you have to win by a majority. If you don't, then there's a runoff. So there's usually two rounds of voting.
yes. And the second round is at the end of the month. So you get like 3 weeks or so to think about your decision. How fucked do you want to be? Do you want to be this fucked or that
Yeah.
fucked? And the big news, why this election is going to be intense is because Lula, who was in jail, is no longer in jail. And not only is he no
Yeah, but
longer in jail,
still considered a convicted criminal.
yes, it's weird. Anyway, but he's running, against his arch nemesis Bolsonaro. So they both feed off
Yes.
each other. So one thing I noticed is that since Lula has been out of jail, like Bolsonaro and his camp, all those guys are so anti-Lula, so anti-PT. Like, not one protest, not one, kind of this motherfucker. Like they're quiet as hell because they need Lula to get elected, and Lula needs them. And the same thing with Lula. Like he'll say a few things, like but he's been very cordial when it comes to talking
Yeah,
about Bolsonaro. So they both feed off each other. So
but there's some dark horses in this election too. Like now, apparently Sergio Moro, who is the justice behind Lava Jato,
mhm.
which was the big corruption scandal, he's running. Um, and yeah, it's weird too. He's running as like kind of a right candidate. Um, so I mean, like most of the people he took, not yeah, I would say most, as in more than 50%. Most of the people he took down were like PT and leftist candidates. So he makes things kind of interesting because he offers an alternative to Bolsonaro. And
Well,
also, Sao
wait.
Paulo's mayor, João Doria, is also running.
Oh well, he's
And
been
he's got
eyeing the
a,
presidency forever.
yeah, he's got a lot of support here. I think his chances are pretty slim because the people in the north hate him. They think he's just like a spoiled rich boy out of touch with the poor and shit. But, he's got a lot of love on this side of the country.
Yes and no. I don't know how loved he is here in Sao Paulo. Definitely more than the rest of the country. But one thing that's also interesting with Sergio Moro, actually two things. One is ding ding ding, my student will be happy because we just learned the expression dark horse today and we just used it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Yeah. Um, but two things with Sergio Moro is one, like you said, he's going to be running against Lula, which he helped put in jail. But two, he's hated by both camps because he was in the
Hmm.
Bolsonaro government as the Ministry of Justice, whatever. And there was this big scandal, like because Bolsonaro wanted to change the head of the federal police, and Sergio Moro was like, "Why?" And the speculation is that Moro was given carte blanche, and he was let. And the investigations were getting too close to Bolsonaro's sons, which are supposedly involved in some corruption. So Bolsonaro didn't like that. He wanted to switch, the heads of certain criminal departments, and Sergio Moro was like, "I'm out. Like, okay, like I'm here to enact justice, and you're playing, musical chairs because you want to protect your kids." So from one day to the next, Sergio Moro became a communist because of this, and he's absolutely
Yeah.
hated by the Bolsonaro camp, absolutely hated by the PT camp. So it's going to be a hell of a three-way debate if they ever get to the debate table, which I really don't think they will. I don't know. I have a feeling something's going to happen where these guys are not going to show up for the debate. So interesting. He is kind of considered the best choice or the most viable choice, albeit a dark horse, but the most viable choice is a third, um, third via, a third way, whatever. But it's gonna get heated here in Brazil, and like Pete said at the beginning, Bolsonaro's made it very clear that either the only way to get him out if he loses, either he's gonna die. This is a quote from Bolsonaro: "Either I die or I go to jail." He said that's it. Those are the only two options if he to get him out of the presidency. So
Yeah, neither of those would be terrible scenarios, really.
it'll be interesting to see. But I got a feeling, Pete, that exactly what you said is going to go down because he's probably going to lose the election. According to the polls, he's going to lose the election. Lula's going to win. And that's going to get him and his followers riled up. It's going to be similar to like the whole Trump fiasco up in with the
Yeah, I'm seeing something exactly like that.
he's
Just
going to get
another
all these
case of
people.
Brazilians imitating Americans.
Exactly. Just that Brazilians are a bit more emotional when it comes to this stuff. So I think it's going to be worse, and I think people are actually going to be dying. Uh, and he's gonna try to do a coup, but like I said, he doesn't have the support from the military that he thinks he does. So much so that was it this year or last year when he was talking a lot, almost every week he would kind of intimate, coup, army, army takeover, blah blah blah. And the three heads of the three, what do you call it? The army
Branches
department.
of the military.
Yeah, branches of the military. There you go. They quit. I mean, well, they didn't quit, but they sent in letters of, like resignation. This is like the first time in history. He backed down after this, and then he just backed down completely. He got the ex-president Temer to write this letter apologizing, and ever since then he's been kind of quiet about this kind of military talk. But it's gonna be a hell of an October, guys. If you come to Brazil, do like Travelmatic. Come in April. I don't know if you want to be here at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Moving on from politics, we got some international shows finally coming back. We got Lollapalooza coming back, which
Hmm.
does not interest me at all. We got Foo Fighters, Miley Cyrus, ASAP Rocky, and The Strokes. Yeah, I think I'll skip that.
Yeah, it's at a shitty venue too. It's out at the fucking Speedway in
I was at the
Interlagos.
Speedway before. It used to be at
Yeah.
the Villa, no, the Jockey Club here. I
Oh
remember one year
wow.
Nine Inch Nails was here. I almost went to that. I really wanted to see Nine Inch Nails, but I just didn't have the cash for it. Um, but Lollapalooza is a shell of what it was. We got Kiss.
No, it's
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Kiss is actually in April, I think, and Metallica is in May. The 69 Eyes are coming actually. There, I was thinking of getting tickets to that sometime in the next month because they're playing at Club Karaoke in April. That
Nice.
show has been postponed so many times. It was supposed to happen in 2020, but yeah, I would definitely be down for that. And Sepultura is actually, I mean, they're not a foreign band, but they're a big band. They got a show coming up in Sao Paulo uh, this month, actually, third
Oh, nice.
Sunday of February. Yeah.
What down in downtown Ayangabau or something?
No, actually, Barafunda Audio Club.
Oh, cool, cool. We do have Card. This is one Pete needs to get early tickets to because the lines are very big, Pete. And this is apparently the K-pop festival.
Oh,
So
wow.
yes. Well, I remember a student of mine told me, like, was it 2, 3 years ago? Like her little cousin or something. He was in line for like 2 days waiting to get into a show by one of these K-pop bands. I think it's B12. I forgot the name, but they're huge. Brazilians
Yeah.
have a huge love for Japanese, now Korean, K-pop. But
Yeah.
but that's because there's a lot of immigration down here from Japanese. I think Brazil has the second largest Japanese immigrant community outside of Japan, or the largest, I
No,
should
it's the
say.
largest. It's the
Yeah, the
largest. Yeah.
largest. Um, Outside of Japan. So there's a lot of influence. So Brazilians are really into anime, manga, and now I guess the K-pop wave came. Like I work at a high school, so I get these little girls. They're all singing in Korean, and then all these songs. Or you go to a karaoke bar, and Brazilians are singing, old Japanese standards. I'm like, wow. So they're really
Yeah,
into
in
it.
2016, I was dating this girl who's like really into this Korean K-pop band called Blackpink, and they're huge. Like, look, just type Blackpink into Google, and like you will get nothing but hits for that band.
Yeah. So there you go. This is gonna be in oh, it says the day, but why am I missing something? Because it doesn't say the month. It just says on the 20th and 21st, but I don't see like the month. But anyway, and then the big one, of course, is Rock in Rio, which is at the end of the year in September. Oh, it's actually got some rock. Well, one rock band. It's Iron Maiden will be there. And then if you take the rock out of Rio, you will be left with Dua Lipa, Justin Bieber, Post Malone, and Demi Lovato.
Good
But if you
lord,
really want to see Iron Maiden, that'll
that's
be
not so good.
about it.
But yeah, if Iron Maiden is playing Rock in Rio, that definitely means that they might schedule a show in Sao Paulo while they're here.
Oh yeah,
So
usually
I will
the
be all over that shit.
yeah, and you got to be watchful for it. I remember when Bruce Springsteen played Rock in Rio. He played in this little club in Baja Funda, but it was like last minute, and I was coming home from work when I saw it on the news. I could have, if I didn't have to work, I would have gone 100%. But usually these bands or groups or whatever or singers, they'll do like these. They'll play a small club or something like that, just as a warm up or just to get revved up for Rock in Rio. So if you're a believer, you know, just watch out. He might be in Sao Paulo. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know Justin Bieber was still singing. But any case. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it. This is our, what to expect in Brazil in 2022. We can expect kind of return to normalcy, I guess, with all the vaccinations going down, you know, unless there's more variants around the way. Very heated presidential election.
Hmm.
People just trying to get their lives back in order, but kind of expensive to live in Brazil at the moment. Although if you're making dollars and euros and stuff, good time to be in Brazil because the real is very weak. But interest rates are
Yeah,
extremely
20
high.
US cents it's been at forever now. At
Oh
least
God,
it's stable. At least it's stable. It's not fluctuating. It's been
yeah,
solidly at 20 cents for as long as I can remember.
yeah, and the but events are happening. Events are happening. So I know we have
Yeah,
travel.
yeah. I mean, life is good here
I
for the
don't
most
know. You
part.
can go out in São Paulo and have a good time. Well, at least I'm saying São Paulo because we're here, but I'm pretty sure. I know Renee, who we love, just had an event in Salvador at Roma Negra, Black Rome.
Yeah, and actually, I think Rio. I mean, like I said, I was there like
That was
during
Salvador.
Christmas
She
New
was that's in
Year's.
Salvador.
No, no, no. But I'm saying like I noticed like Rio is like a lot more full on than Sao Paulo, and
Mhm.
Sao Paulo is pretty full on too. So I think the major cities like things are happening all over
Yes.
the place.
Yeah. No, I think the only thing that you won't get is just events that have like street events with a lot of people, like
Yeah, yeah.
religious.
Although we have seen some of that here in Sao Paulo. I went to the Costella Festival at the Latin American Memorial a couple months
Mhm.
ago. That was before Omicron got here, so that has kind of not happened since. But it wasn't that long ago either. Like
Yeah.
there have been some of these big outdoor public
Well,
events.
because I think the issue with the big outdoor stuff, because you do have big outdoor stuff that's indoors. Well, big outdoor stuff that doesn't make sense. Big events that are happening indoors, but then indoors they can kind of control a little bit as far as showing your vaccine
Yeah,
card, blah blah blah. But if it's all out in the street, there's no way to control people control. So that's where it becomes an issue. Although I did run the San Silvestri, I ran the big race at the beginning of the year. It's like 15-kilometer race on the 31st of December, and that was packed. But again, that was I think Omicron was starting to hit in
Yeah, and it's kind of schizophrenic here too, because like when I interview people for jobs, a lot of the times, I just ask them like, casual interview questions like, what do you do for fun? And like, I swear, 90% of them say, well, I used to go out with my friends. I used to play soccer, but since COVID, I don't do anything. And I'm like thinking like, okay, either these people are lying to me or there's like two distinct types of Brazilian mentalities at work here. Because when I go out, I see tons of people at events. So obviously, like a lot of Brazilians are like just going out and doing shit and having fun and stuff. And then I get these people are like, "Ooh, I don't go out." So
I
I don't
agree
know.
with.
I only talk to them for 15 minutes, so I don't know if they're like just saying what they think they should say, or if they're actually just a different category of people.
No, I think it's a different category of people. I think it's legit. Juliana said no big street events, but pubs are full every weekend. Yeah, it's kind of schizophrenic, but I think it's actually two different. Two like I said, like I work at this school. They're hardcore. I mean, there's parents that
Yeah,
are afraid to send their kids to school still. Now they're kind of forced by law to send them back to school, but they're like forging
right.
doctor's notes, to keep their kids on the online platform. Or today I went to the supermarket. This lady in front of me, man, she had a mask on. She had the plexiglass, the face
Yeah,
mask on, the big, like nuclear reactor
yeah. The
mask.
welder's helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the welder's helmet. She had gloves on, and I'm like, damn, like she's hardcore. So I'm like, okay, Meanwhile, I pull my mask down so I can breathe, you know,
yeah.
uh, just on
They
the
fog
just
up my glasses, man. That I don't complain about wearing masks, but oh my god, they do fog up your glasses bad.
Yes, yes. So I think it's different levels, man. And some folks are just like, you know what? Actually, I was dating this guy who was like that. He's triple vaccinated, and he like gets on my
Yeah,
case, like, "Are you? Did you get your third dose yet?" I'm like, "No," and I feel like he
I know.
shames me secretly for that. But even still, if I invite him to go somewhere, like, "Oh, let's go see a movie," he's like, "Well, I don't know because." Like so there are folks that are mega, mega, mega paranoid about it, and then there's
Yeah,
folks that
and
are on
this
the
is actually one of the most anxious countries in the world. Like
yes,
people people do suffer from anxiety disproportionately here with good reason.
yes, yeah. We should do a whole episode of why Brazilians are
Right.
anxious. And actually, one of the articles I was reading to prep talked about that. Like one of the things that people are, for 2022 that people are talking about is mental health. So if you get a
Yeah,
chance, go back and watch our interview with Emily where we talked about mental health because that's
yeah,
a big, big, big issue. And Brazil, actually, or São Paulo, actually has the largest number of psychotics, I think, in the world. So it's already in there, and then you get something because for me it seems like it's brought out the OCD in everybody. Like
yeah.
it's beyond healthy level of like cleanliness and don't touch this and I'm like, dude, um, at some point you gotta be careful and take care of others. I think it's very it's a social thing to take care of others. um, but you can't be insane too. Like when I tell people that I run, they're like, you run on the street? I'm like, dude, unless one, it's very difficult to cough or sneeze while you're running, but if I do, I mean, unless that shit's flying, you know, very, very far. I doubt I'm going to infect anybody if I'm running without a mask on Raposo Tavares. I'm more worried
Yeah,
about getting run over by a car than
yeah.
catching something from somebody. But any case, uh, guys, I think that's it. We're going to head off. I want to thank you all for being here and supporting the channel. Please like and subscribe. And we'll be back. And we'll get our guests back on, but I think also I like having a kind of a freestyle conversations here. And that's it. Okay. Just thank you for being here. Got anything to say?
Yeah, a couple major law changes might be coming this year. Gambling and guns might become legal, so that's something else to look forward to. We'll see how that goes. I will either be getting a work visa or leaving the country. It looks like I'll be getting a work visa, so you can count on me being around for a lot longer because I'm too old to keep changing venues. So I will be here with you for a good long time to come.
Well, hopefully, with all these guns out there, like this is the perfect year to legalize guns. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a fun October, guys. I mean, maybe we'll do a field report, Pete. We'll do the BJ from the middle of a protest after Lula gets elected president. All right.
Oh,
Anyway, yes. See y'all until next time.
All
We'll
right.
be in 2 weeks.
Cheers.